Hi guys, Steve Woolridge, Krav Maga Fitness Center, Chief Instructor of Krav Maga here in Kansas City, and I'm here with Corinne Mosher. We're going to talk a little bit about an introduction for you guys, really to introduce you to Corinne and some of the firearms training that we do. For those of you that have followed us before, that normally we had, previously we had Rick Staples was working in conjunction with me and developed our integrated Krav Maga plus concealed carry class. And over the last couple of years, he's kind of passed on that mantle and the duties for helping me with that and working the classes, the firearm portion of it, to Corinne. And I want to kind of introduce you guys to her, some of the background, why she's here, what she's done, so you guys don't think she's just some random person that just walked in the door and we're just gonna have her work with you. That's everything that we do is extremely structured, and as you guys know me, there's a reason for everything that I do. So I'll give you a little bit, I'll let her give you a little bit of the background on who she is, why she's here, what we're doing, and see how you guys like it from there. So first and foremost, can you tell them a little bit about where you are right now, what you do right now in relation to firearms?
Okay. Currently, I am the Director of Education at Center Fire Shooting Sports in Olathe. I also am working with Steve here at Krav Maga. What I do also is that on the side, I am a 3-gun competitive shooter, so I actually am fortunate enough to work with several major companies, Hornady Ammunition, 511 Tactical, Terran Tactical Innovations, and I shoot 3-gun all over the country. I also am traveling all over the world with Team Zero, so we teach in Sicily, Italy, Malta, Germany, all over the world. So as far as instruction-wise, that's what I do currently right now at Centerfire. I also travel independently to do classes wherever I'm needed with Steve and with Team Zero, along with being a 3-gun competitor.
Okay, so what's interesting to me, being someone that really loves to dig into anything that I do at 10,000%. Normally we see people who train, athletes, people who fight, do those things. You have a background in it for a long time. Your background is a little different than where you came from, and maybe we can speak to that a little bit. I find it interesting because it's so much of a disparity of what you do now.
So at the beginning of any course, I'll give a quick bio about myself, and I say, hey, my background is actually music. I went to UMKC's Conservatory of Music for Violin Performance. I'd been a musician since I was 8 years old. We were stationed in Okinawa, Japan. I took Suzuki violin lessons from a Japanese man off base. That was what I did. I was a performer. I didn't even touch a gun until after high school. I didn't start shooting until late 2010, 2011. So yes, it's been very, very quick, and it is a very different background. But as far as the athletic background, no, I didn't have it, which was one of the reasons why I work with Steve, is physically and being an athlete. He helps me with that, which obviously helps with the shooting portion, which helps me be a better instructor. But there is a lot of crossover with my musical background and with what I'm doing now, not only in competition, but also for self-defense and instruction. When it comes to mindset, preparation and performance, practice, discipline, all of that is integrated. And so, I came prepared to self-defense, to shooting, to competition. I came prepared with the mindset, which of course Steve and I have been working on developing together as well, and making improvements, because there's always something to improve. That's another crossover. There's always something that you can do to improve. Not getting such an ego, I have reached this expert level and now there's nothing left to learn. Steve's a perfect example of that. He's constantly trying to learn and test what he knows to make sure that it's not getting outdated, or if there is something better or newer or something that has been proven to be more correct and effective, that he's looking to find that as well. So lots of different background: music, shooting, guns. You wouldn't think there's a crossover, but there definitely is, and it's been exciting, and it's been fun to kind of find where Steve will say something, whether we're working out, or we're talking about a training principle or methodology, and I'll say, oh yeah, it's like because we do this with the music, or when I'm practicing a certain way, I always go back to, if I make a mistake, I don't just practice the wrong note a million times until I get it right. I back up and practice getting into it until I can't do it wrong. So I don't know if you felt the same way, but
absolutely, it's the flow state, and it's the carryover. One of the biggest reasons I bring that up is one, Corinne has put in the time. You can look at people, I can do something for a very short time and become very, very proficient at it. It's because I've been successful at something else before, and I apply all those principles to it. So when people might look at Corinne and go, well, hey, you've only been doing this for a short period of time. I've been shooting for 30 years. Obviously, time doesn't always equate to proficiency or quality of what you do. But once you take and you actually learn something and applying that mindset, again, it's a success mindset to apply it to something else. It is a huge carryover. So I bring this up for a couple different reasons. One is that we can have people that are absolute beginners, and which you've trained from anywhere from
love beginners.
Beginners to anywhere. I love a beginner because they're a blank slate, and I can help to give that person the fundamentals to where they're going to be good. As long as they listen and do the things that we have them do, they're going to be good from the get-go. And then you have no bad things or errors that you have to correct throughout those times, or mistakes or bad habit patterns or motor recruitment patterns. But two is that you can take someone who has had many, many years of experience and apply the same, I would say, the same working knowledge to that. The other thing is to look at is with Corinne, one being a woman, is you have women that might look at the course that we do or the training that we do, or look at self-defense situations and go, I could never do that. And I go, well, Corinne's not some hardcore special forces person that came walking out of the jungle from birth doing these things, is that she's a very different background, mom, wife, a lot of things going on that you wouldn't equate to somebody that is a professional shooter or could help train you to fight and defend yourself.